An expensive search in QReader, it has nothing to do with licensing. You can do unlimited searches in QReader. The expensive part has to do with the amount of resources in terms of memory, CPU, and disk space that it will require for that search to take place. And that makes it counterproductive, or in other words, expensive. This is not a hypothetical situation. This is actually something that was brought out to me by my good friend Mitch Hale in the UK. That happen often with the people that he helps. So let's say that you have a new SOC operator and he performs a search. You say, well, I want to see all the events that happen during the last 7 days, for example. And not only that, but I'm not going to limit. Notice that the system by default typically puts a limit here of 10,000. I'm not going to put even any limit here. I remove the limit when I was testing this, and notice that in a matter of a few seconds we are over close to 3 million events. And this is a small system at home here with at most 5,000 EPSs, so imagine in a larger enterprise. So this can grow quickly, very, very fast. And of course, in QReader you can search, cancel the searches that you're doing. If I go here and do cancel, and I click OK, that search is going to be very soon canceled. It takes a while for it to. But what happened is that there is a particular disk space that can be consumed if we do. Let me show you here, and I'll show you the documentation in a second. In particular, this volume in here. Notice that this volume has 15% been used in this demo system, and I'll bet you that this has a lot to do with the search that I was doing, because I don't think that is even that high. If you begin to get this close to, I don't know, maybe 90-95%, the overall performance and responsiveness of your console may be compromised. So what we're going to be talking about is first how you get out of that situation in which the console, you cannot go here and do cancel as we just did because the console has become irresponsive. There is a document in QReader that is what we're going to be following in here. If you search for example, these words in here, I'm sure you will get to this very same document, right? Now, let's actually go ahead and investigate this further. Let's say that let's assume that my system was reach a point in which I'm getting on the disk space that the responsiveness of the machine is compromised, and I need to go into the SSH and the command line and get out of the situation. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to issue this command. I'm just going to basically give me everything that is in this directory that is above the 200 megabyte, right? And we have these two elements in here. And the documentation continues with this part, which we are not going to do, which is basically help you determine who was the actual user who is running those expensive searches, because you may need to speak to that person and explain how to do searches in QReader that they are not as expensive, right? And then the process, the first part of the process is actually to remove such data, right? So let's actually go here, and what we're going to do is that we are going to take actually even this file. Let's actually go into the directory. Let's change into this directory first. Paste that. And let's actually remove this particular file, right? Do rm, paste that. Says that's what you want to do. Yes, that's what I want to do. So you have deleted that one. Let's actually delete this one as well. And it's not even longer there. Well, actually the file is still there. When I did the copy paste, I didn't take that 8 in the beginning, so that's why I didn't find it. So let's actually do that again. I grab it, the entire thing, and do rm So you want to delete that one? Yes, I want. That is deleted. And the documentation also mentioned here, as you can see, that there might be .map, .off, .meta. So you can, in order to do a complete cleanup, to not make sure you don't leave anything behind, let's actually repeat that and put asterisk. Well, notice that it is the DSXC. Yeah, I want to delete that one. What's the next one? The map. Yeah, I want to delete that one. The meta. Yeah, and that is cleanup. Let's actually repeat the command. I'm going to grab it here instead of going through the history. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to do all the leftover. I want to leave the system kind of clean and do .asterisk. You want that? We want that one gone, that one gone, that one gone. So I have. If your system had become compromised on the GUI because of this space being filled up, by just doing this action, that would get your system back and running. There's one more thing that you actually need to do, which is issue this command to restart the aerial proxy server. Let's actually issue that command. That's gonna probably take a while for that to. Actually, well, the command was executed immediately, but it may take a little bit of time to do that. And as the documentation mentioned, when you do this, you stop the logging of QRadar while this process is restarting. So this is, something that you shouldn't do without knowing or without having the actual need to do it, because your system is non-responsive. Now let's actually do a df -h again, and we can see that, notice that the transient that was before at 15% now is at 1%. There was left over from those searches that I was doing. So again, a short video in case that you run into expensive searches and you want to cancel them. That might be a good option. There's also, the documentation mentioned this, that you can go into the admin and reduce the search retention period, the search result retention period, which can also help. But that the reason why this space gets filled up is not because you have a lot of searches that are being left there. Could be the case, but it's most likely that somebody is doing a search, and that person needs to be explained that you don't make such an extensive searches. You put more limits in what you are searching, and you don't make searches that broad in time or on scope, etc. And thanks Mitch Hale for bringing this to my attention, because apparently this is something that is not common, but it happens with certain frequency with some QRadar customers.